everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of NuStrength Sugar Babes. Today we've got Karen on the show. She's been wowing, as we were just talking about it, for about 10 months now. She's one of the few women in our program who doesn't have kids like me, but we have our fur babies. We were just talking about it. So, Karen, can you tell the viewers why you joined the program? What were the issues that you were having, and how were they affecting your life?
I don't know if I was having that many issues. So like a lot of the ladies, and like, you said that you had with the binging and, like the weird diets and, getting really bad digestion and things like that. I wasn't having any of those issues. Well, nothing like what some ladies have had, like, with all the bloating and that sort of stuff. But I guess it was more, I'd lost 35 kilos previously just on my own. So I went from 96 kilos down to 61.
Wow.
Yeah. But that was like, I guess that was restricting calories. So that was like on 1,200 calories a day, but not, doing anything specific, just trying to eat like no junk food and, sort of, I guess, making portion sizes less and stuff like that. But again, getting on a bit of the cardio bandwagon as far as doing HIIT training and that sort of stuff, and stuff my knee. And I sort of noticed once I got to about 68 kilos, I suppose, I kind of looked like two different people. Like I was still quite big in the bottom, but I looked really skeletal on top. So I wasn't just losing fat, obviously. Oh, there we go.
Sorry.
We're back.
Keep going. We just lost you for a second.
Yeah. So I was sort of looking, like you'd see, like we're all sort of a bit skeletal on top. And I just noticed that one night when I was in the bathroom, like after I'd had a shower, and I sort of looked in the mirror and thought, oh my God, like I look so skinny in the arms and like up through the chest, like, how you sort of have the sunken chest look with your, and I thought, God, that's not me, because I've always been like quite big. So I thought, I want to start doing a bit of weight training and things. And I did that for a little while on my own, but with no sort of real direction, like just, in a little dodgy eBay home gym at home with stuff and, the resistance bands and that, instead of sort of like, and, the difference, I guess, and it worked a little bit, I suppose. It did put some muscle and things on, but I was running with it as well at the same time. So I'd do that for like half an hour, and then I'd go and run for half an hour. And I hate running. I've never been a runner. So, kind of just thought, well, I'd like to look for something a bit more directed, like, that sort of helps you. And, I've never really been a joiner, so it kind of works perfect for me, because there was no way I was ever going to go and join a gym and, have a personal trainer type thing, or go and join, a group of people doing anything. So it kind of looked good for me. So like I said, started the 28-day challenge, read all the literature that you guys put out and watched videos on nutrition as well as the training and that, and all made sense, like everything that you were sort of putting out there. And I was finding, even though I had lost all the weight, I was getting to the stage that I was starting to binge a little bit again, because I had changed jobs. Like I finished up the job that I was at for 25 years. So I took a break for 6 months, and we were traveling a lot, and it's like, we're away. Like, so, I won't worry about not eating junk food. And so, like I was getting, gelato at every gelato place I walked past. And you've got to go for the most economical one, which is don't get the one scoop for $4.50, get the 3 scoops for $7.50. I was starting to put it back on, and then I dropped the weight, what little bit I was doing and stuff like that. So, and then that's when I found you guys, and it has changed a lot of stuff. I guess the way that, and this is a really long answer to one question, isn't it?
No.
It has changed the way I look at a lot of stuff. So I've gone back on sugar, because I was off that for a long time. But some stuff I was doing stays in, like, I've always eaten a lot of protein and stayed on potatoes and things like that. Like I've never taken that out of my diet. But yeah, sugar I'd gone off completely. I was on like natural sweeteners for a long time, so they're gone.
I think we've all done that. I used to be so scared of sugar too. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, and I've always drunk heaps of milk and stuff like that, so that works out like really well because I'd sort of only then restricted milk to coffee and stuff like that. So now, like, you know, as you sort of said the other day, that now it's getting hotter, you drink a lot of your food. Like that works perfect for me because like I'll go to the shop say once or twice a week and, you know, I'll have say 9 litres of milk for me between like the high protein stuff and skim milk and that. And then, 1 litre of milk for the other half for his coffee. And so
awesome.
Sometimes I feel,
God, I wish we could get that good high. We don't get that in Queensland. That milk. It's only available in Wales and Victoria. Yeah, it's great. It's really good. A lot of the women in the program use it. And Karen, so sorry, keep going.
Yeah, no, I was going to say it's great because I was eating that much Shabani yogurt before I found that. Like I think Angelina said that she used it, or Nikki, I can't remember which one. And I had a look at it because they're like the full fat and the light version. And now I have a little bit of Shabani now and then, like because it was mainly to get the protein. But yeah, now I drink sort of a big glass of that every morning with my oat slice for breakfast. And easy. Like I struggle to stay under my protein goals.
Oh, that's so good. Oh, it's so good, isn't it, when you're eating yum food again? And can you tell the viewers then what are the results that you've seen so far since being in the program?
Yeah, so I think maybe, you know, how I said I wasn't having, I guess, the problem I have. I think it's a little bit now of I didn't realise I was having some of them to an extent. You know, so say like bloating, and I thought, these poor ladies, like I don't get bloating and it doesn't matter what I eat and that sort of stuff, like, you know, it doesn't affect me. But I think I was getting it and I just didn't realise it, if you know what I mean, because I wasn't getting it as bad as what they are, you know, but now that I don't get it, you know how sometimes you don't notice something until it's not there?
Totally, yeah, because you're so used to it all the time, you think it's the norm.
Yeah, that's it. So I didn't sort of really realise it, and now I'm on sort of like, you know, the carrot salad every day and the Progest-D, you know, and obviously sort of I still do have wheat products occasionally, you know, because my partner, he really loves cooking, and, you know, he has his set things that he loves to cook. So, you know, like once a month or every couple of months, like he'll make pizzas. And he'll make, you know, he won't make sourdough bases, he'll make normal bases. So, you know, I'll eat that. But, I sort of work it into my macros and don't overdo it. And then I find, you know, I'm fine. Whereas if I like, like I think the first time he made a different type of pizza, I thought, oh, this is fantastic. And I scoffed like the whole thing. And, yeah, like I was quite bloated sort of the next day. So, yeah, as you always say, like, test and measure and stuff and, you know, see how you go. And nutrition wise, you know, as you sort of go through things when you first start MyFitnessPal on it, and, you know, you're working with macros and it takes you ages to work it out, and you think, oh my God, like, you know, how am I going to do this? And if something doesn't go to your plan during the day that you don't have time to eat it, and you think, crap, where am I going to make this up without using this? So, you know, that sort of stuff, like as you sort of, and I guess it's all just time and experience of do it, and knowing like, oh, okay, if I'm out at the shop, I can grab this and I know that'll fit into my macros because it's about this much carbs and about this much, you know, fat or protein or, you know, that sort of stuff. So that's a big one. So a quick example of that, like last night I had carbs and protein to go on. I'm thinking, oh crap, where am I going to get that from? So I substituted out normal skim milk I'd have at night with the high protein stuff, and then a little bit of fat left over, so that was fine. That counted for that. And then I've got like the homemade chocolate sauce that Nikki does, which is just basically carbs, and had some skim milk, put the chocolate sauce in that, and had the chocolate pudding and the high protein milk, and that sorted me macros out for the day last night. So that's heaps, like being able to just do that without having to stress and, you know, like spend.
I think too, like, and that's what they, you know, when they come in, it can be overwhelming, but if you just put the work in, disciplined at the start, it really sets you free. Like now you've got a really good understanding of all the foods, you know, how quickly can you do meal plans now?
Yeah, no, it takes quicker. And yeah, I guess, you know, a lot of the ladies say, oh, you know, I know what I'm having all week for lunch and snacks, and, you know, I've planned out my week the whole week. I tend to do it as I go, like sort of during the day and of that morning and stuff. But when I guess sort of you know what's going to fit in your macros, like you can sort of do that. And it's not that I don't meal plan. Like I always prep a lot of stuff so that I have a lot of different stuff available. So if something doesn't go to plan, I haven't got just one thing and think, shit, that's going to put me over my fat macros. It's like, okay, well, I won't grab that out of the freezer. I'll grab this instead because that's a lower fat version of something, a bit more protein in it. So like, you know, things like risotto and curries and stuff like that's really good, because if I know that I'm not having a real big protein meal for dinner, then I'll grab a risotto out of the freezer. That's a high, you know, good source of protein for sort of lunchtime, and that'll push my protein up. So yeah, that's heaps. And obviously the training, because
how many calories are you eating now compared to what you were when you started?
Yeah, so I had gone from 1,200 when I was trying to lose all the weight up to, when I got down to 61 kilos, I went up to 1,500, which still isn't that much. Now I'm on 2,400.
So you've gone from 1,500 calories to 2,400 calories.
Yeah. So when I first started,
body fat?
I reckon I have a bit around my hips, and that's probably I guess that's the only place where you can sort of tell, because I guess there's not in the training you do, there's probably not a lot of muscle that you can build up under your sort of your hip area. But I mean, you know, that's going to be part of it for a while.
Well, you were small.
I think
tiny. You know, like I think women, when you come in and you've been under eating for so long, you know, but it's pretty incredible that you've increased your calories nearly 1,000 and you've only put on a tiny bit of body fat, which is pretty amazing. I know she's frozen again.
Yeah, so I've looked at, yeah. Good.
Yeah, keep going. I think there's just a bit of lag.
Yeah, I looked at the beginning of like my check-in sheet the other day, because I was sort of thinking, so I was 61 kilos, and now I've averaged out at around 69, 70. But when I looked at my check-in sheet, because we'd been away on holidays and I was binging and everything like that, you know, around Christmas before I started the 28-day challenge. When I actually got my check-in sheet when I started BUFF, which I think was maybe early February when you're in the first one, I was up to like 66, 67 kilos anyway. So when you look at it that way, I've only put on 3 kilos, not, you know, like 7 or 8 from when I was 61. And just the muscle that like I can feel, you know, underneath and my legs. So I think that was the difference too. Like before, when I was doing just my own little bit of weight training, I wouldn't do anything for my legs, because as soon as I started doing anything and I started to put on size, like in my legs, it was like, oh my God, like I've been size 24 and now I'm size 10. I don't want to go back up, you know. So it's sort of think, all right, I'm just not doing that. Like, you know, I think that's a little bit of a mindset, loss weight, and, you know, you start doing something like this and, you know, you can feel your clothes getting a bit tighter and you think, I don't want to go, you know, back that way. But yeah, just, you know, I've still got like fat on my legs that I need to lose, and on my bum and stuff, but just, yeah, the amount of muscle that I can actually feel and see in my legs and that now compared to what it was, and then also my upper body in that as well. Yeah, just, yeah, I mean, after doing it for that long, I suppose, and I guess the big thing is too, like with the whole program, if you're going to give it a go, you've got to give it a go. You can't just go, oh yeah, you know, I'll go out, you know, whether you go to the gym or your home gym, yeah, I'll go out and do my training session today, and like, oh yeah, oh that's enough, can't do anymore. Yeah, like you've got to sort of, yeah, give it a red hot go and look like shit when you finish, and so you're not going to see the results.
You only have to go 3 days, which is awesome. You know, I don't think I could train any more than 3 days because it's hard. You know, the sessions are hard. You need that recovery time. And how have you found it? Because a lot of women that, you know, watch these one of their reservations is about doing it online. You know, they're worried about how will I learn to lift online? What will the support be like? You know, could you comment on that?
I think, look, honestly, if it wasn't online, I wouldn't be doing it, because as I said to you, like, you know, it's perfect for me, because like I live out like a long way out of town too, and by the time I finish work of the day or before, you know, in the morning before, I don't want to go then to a gym in town and be driving home in the dark. And you know, I want to go home and I want to be able to, you know, go for a walk with my dog and things like that. So you know, having it online really works for me. And I think
Oh, it's a bit
you know, getting feedback on your exercises, you get back what you there.
Oh, there we
No,
go.
yes.
Your internet, yeah, you
Yep.
just keep breaking.
There we go.
Keep freezing. So say that again.
Yeah, with the training, I think you get out what you put in as far as, like, you know, advice on your training, because if you're half-assed with your videos and you put in, you know, I'll put one in here and then randomly I'll put one in, you know, in 3 weeks' time, you're not going to get much out of it. You know, you're going to keep making the same mistakes week after week because, you know, Jake or one of the other trainers don't get a chance to look at your videos. And I guess not being a trainer, I was a bit like that at first. It was like, yeah, okay, I'll follow the program, and you know, he's video, if I've got time, I can be bothered. But for the last 2 months to 3 months, I've been doing every session. And yeah, load, and like say the first lift, and I'll open Slack and I'll look at his feedback on it. You know, and quite often, you know, like they'll put like the little excerpt from a little video of what they're talking about, and they might draw, like, yeah, keep your, so say for, like I was doing curls, barbell curls, and I was pulling my arm back too far, so like you put the little diagram like on it to say, no, only come this far, like then you're coming back that far, and things like that. So yeah, I mean, you know, if you actually look at the feedback and implement it, it actually gets a bit addictive because you feel like you're actually, you know, okay, I've sorted that part out, now I'll put it in again. Okay, he's got another little bit of feedback, and every week, you know, I'm finding that I'm getting like a little collection of, that's great, don't need to see any more of these videos, and you're like, yeah, that's another little of my collection.
So good. And it's so true. And you know, like, you just have to keep chipping away, and slowly over time you improve, and all of a sudden you're like a year down the track, you're like, oh wow, I'm actually starting to become quite a good lifter, and that'll pay off in building more muscle, which means that you can eat more, and you know, you don't put on body fat. And what about carrying time? Like, a lot of women are like, I just don't have time to do this program. What would you say to that?
You know, I guess you could say I work 2 jobs. So, you know, I work, like I said, as a trades teacher at TAFE, and then I've got my own business as well, which, you know, quite often then I have to do either of a night or of a weekend, or I've got to go for site visits for stuff like that I've got to fit around. And yeah, you just, I guess you have a look and see where it fits into your day. And if it doesn't work, so normally I do Saturdays, Mondays and Wednesday mornings, because I've got Mondays off and I only work Wednesday afternoons normally. You know, this week I've had to work yesterday on Monday and I've got to work tomorrow morning. So I know, look, you know, and training at night doesn't work for me. You know, I find it really difficult, and so I find I'm better off just to skip that day and then pick it up, you know, as soon as I can. And, you know, some phases, like I'll go start to finish and I won't miss a day. And then the next phase, I might miss a couple in a row, and then I'll pick up the next day, and you just keep going on with it. Like, you know, if you've got to miss a day here or there, you know, it's not going to, you know, it's not going to set you back all the stuff. So, you know, like you keep saying, if you're not doing it, think about where you're going to be, as to having the excuse of, oh, well, I don't have time, you know, like, yeah, you might have to miss a session here or there, but you're still going to be way further in front than what you would be if you didn't do it at all in the first. Yeah. So I think, like anything, if you're going to look for excuses, you'll find excuses. If it's something that you want to do, you'll find a way to do it, which, you know, a lot of the ladies have said, you know, even money-wise, like, you know, some of them have got 7 kids and things like that, and they still find a way to get it done. And you think, God, if they can do it, they're working full-time and they've got 7 kids, you know? Yeah. So
very true. Every time I get tired, I think, oh, Kitty, you've got no idea you've got no kids, you know? I think that's right. And you're right. We've got single mums in our program, 3, 4, 7 kids, right? I think if it's a priority and you really want to change your life and your body and your health, you'll make it work. And finally, if a woman was sitting on the fence about this program, she was skeptical, what would you say?
Give it a go. And, you know, if you're not sure about signing up to the full program, like Buff was fantastic. Yeah, I'll probably say if you didn't do Buff when you did back in February, that, I wouldn't be where I am now. Because, it's sort of like, oh, do I, don't I? But then when you get that little bit of taste of it, you know, and, you know, Buff is a really good lead-in to what the main program's about. If you're not sure, even if you book a call, like you always say, book a call, have a talk to someone, see what you think, you know, and even if you do and you're still not sure, look out for a Buff challenge and have a go at that, because that is awesome. It gives you a really good idea of what it's about and what you can get of it. And to be honest, after I did the 5 weeks of Buff, it was like, I can't lose this. Like, you know, so after I booked the call, there was no way I wasn't going to, like, sign up. It was like, you know, now that I've done this, the 28-day challenge is one thing, but once you get a taste of what the full program's like and everything, if it's for you, you're going to know by the time you finish that, I think. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day. I know you're so busy with your two jobs, and it's just so awesome to hear that you're going so well and kicking goals and getting strong and building lots of muscle. And ladies, if you're watching this, just click on the link below. You can book in a free chat with one of the coaches, and you can see whether this program is actually a good fit for you. So thanks again, Karen. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you in the program.
Yep, no worries. Thanks.
Bye.